Okay, we're going to move on to GBNE CO 21004. And Greg is not present with us, so we'll table that. So we'll move on to CO 21005. Gia.
Okay, hi. My case is regarding a falsification of records and alteration of documents. So I interviewed GRMC, Miss Jennifer Cruz, and what happened here was that apparently they were doing a catheterization. These nurses were assisting the doctor in inserting a catheter in the cath lab. So the doctor ordered a certain size to hand to him during the surgery. And the nurses heard him saying a different size. The doctor claims he ordered a size 13. The nurses heard size 12. They did the proper procedures, how they hand the size 12 and another person double checks the size. I think there's two more people that double checks the size. So based from the nurse's standpoint, they heard a size 12. So the size 12 was handed to the doctor and it was inserted, to find out later on it was the wrong size, that he really wanted a 13. So what ended up happening, the doctor was so upset at them. I guess he went berserk and was yelling at them, and got really upset and told them that to alter the documents, to put on the notes that they gave 13, the size 13. The nurses did not give size 13, they gave size 12, but because of the doctor really upset and saying how, I guess one of the nurses, the main nurse, his argument is that he wanted to protect the nurse, that she's going to get reported to the board, she's going to lose her license. So therefore, we need to help her by changing the size in their documentation from a 13 to a 12. The nurses did not want to do it, but they were so, I guess, afraid of the doctor that they went ahead and changed their documentation on the size of a catheter that was placed to the patient. Now, from my understanding, there's no harm to the patient other than the patient was really sick and the patient ended up having a bypass. Now, whether the patient ended up having a bypass because his catheter was too small, we don't know. So, so now the question or the complaint was that the nurses, because the doctor demanded for them to change it, to alter the document, went ahead and altered the document, is a complaint. How do we handle that case? The nurses, the reason why management knew about this one is because of another issue that came about, and she discovered that error later. So the nurses did not immediately tell their superiors about the alteration of the documents until about 2 days later. And it was because of another complaint that occurred that the manager, this came out that the wrong catheter was inserted. So they suspended the nurses already. They got reprimanded. And so in this, but I haven't spoken to the nurse. I've left a message, and the director has also emailed the nurse to give me a call, and I haven't gotten a call. So how do we handle how do we handle these kind of cases when there was, I still need, of course, a confirmation from the nurse who's accused, but they're the ones that came forth and told the director as to what happened. They were kind of harassed and coerced into changing the document. And they did state that they did alter the documents.
So Gia,
how is this handled?
Are you ready to make a recommendation?
maybe let me first talk to the nurse before I make a recommendation, because I'd like to hear her side, and then we can make a recommendation. Maybe
Okay.
we can find from that matrix, what do we do in these kind of cases, right? I don't know what you've done in the past,
Because
when there's
normally,
already an admittance. There's an admittance that she did make an error and fraudulently changed the documents, but I
yeah,
just
and,
haven't had a
okay, so
affirmation.
we'll wait until you're done and you've completed your investigation, and then we can discuss the case. Once you're
Okay, sounds good.
the recommendation, then you can bring it forth to the board members, and then you all can discuss. But in the meantime,
Okay,
yeah,
sounds good.
just table for next
Sounds
meeting.
good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
All right, and our last is the GBNE CO 21006, Paula Banzan.